Live streaming is on.
Hello, can you hear me? Not sure if I had my microphone selected before. In case you couldn't hear me before, I think that might have been the case. I entered uh, a message in the chat in the bottom right. If you can click that, you could let me know whether you can hear me if you're having trouble getting your microphone to work. Any luck? Let me check Meetup. Maybe you've written back. Okay, I've sent you some messages on Meetup. Maybe if you want to check there. Okay, I'm sharing my screen. And let me change this. Okay. What I found when I opened this up initially, nothing was checked. So I had to check my microphone before I could see it down here. So that might be the issue if you're having trouble. Why is it doing that? Okay, back. Let's see. Fuck off. If you're not going to speak or even communicate, what's the point? One view. Yippee. Hello. Let's give it another try.
Hello?
Hello. There you
Hi.
are. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you. Not
I
sure
will-
what's wrong.
How frustrating was that for you?
Yep, it is.
What was the problem?
I'm sorry?
What was the problem? Because other people have had trouble with this chat platform.
Yeah, I couldn't access to it. And then also when we got in there, we couldn't even hear anything.
Oh, you couldn't hear me at all?
Yeah, the first time I couldn't hear you at all.
Yeah, I think that's because I don't know if you could see my screen, but when I clicked on the microphone, I was showing the different options I had.
Uh-huh.
None of them were actually selected.
Huh.
So even though I could see them moving, let me share my screen and see if you're able to see what I'm trying to show. Can you see the pop-up with the different microphones?
Yes.
Okay, so none of these were selected. I could see things moving on the right, but there was no check mark. And that's when I realized you probably couldn't hear me that whole time.
Right.
Okay. Well, thanks for attending. You are the
Yeah.
sole opponent.
Is that only you and me?
That is it. Last
Oh.
night we had 10 people, 12 people come in and
Oh,
out. So last night was Boston, New York. For tonight, we only had maybe 10 people sign up between the two groups.
okay.
So I'm not sure whether it's these groups had been inactive for a long time, whether people are not really interested in trading. They're more interested in investing.
Mhm.
Why did you join the group initially?
Well, I am interested in trading.
Oh, you are? Okay.
Yes.
And what is your background as far as trading goes?
Well, I've been trading probably about 4 years.
And are you doing mostly swing trading, day trading?
Yeah, swing trading.
Okay.
Yeah, I want to learn day trading and then, and options and all that kind of stuff too. So
Gotcha. There's so much to learn.
too much. Yeah, so much to learn. Yes, you're right.
And do you have a background in finance, or what is your background?
Well, my background is I work for data analyst.
Okay.
And also, I'm a cybersecurity.
Okay.
And then I got laid off. And I got another job, it's like a medical device company.
Oh,
So I've
congrats.
been working there now. Since after I got laid off, I'm working there I've been working there for 2 years.
Okay, nice.
And then also I learned that sometimes the job I shouldn't be focused a lot of the job that I like to do, but I should focus on the passion that I want to do. So
And that passion is trading?
trading, yes.
I hear you.
Yeah.
That's
What
how I
about
went down this
you?
rabbit hole.
What about you?
So my background is I worked in investment research for about a dozen years.
Oh wow.
I worked for a mutual fund company here in Boston.
Mhm.
I've been in and out of the industry for a while, but I was an analyst for a couple of different companies.
Mhm.
I covered healthcare, mainly pharmaceuticals, some technology, financial services. But that's fundamental research. It has nothing to do with trading.
Right.
I ended up getting interested in trading maybe 15 years ago
Okay.
and learned a lot. It's been a difficult journey because trading is very much a journey of the self, right? Kind of
Yep.
battling yourself. So even though I may have a lot of knowledge from the fundamental side, when you try to apply it, everyone's going to have a different experience.
Mhm.
So ups and downs. I've had some runs that were very consistent.
Yeah.
And I think I went through the typical journey of trying to find the holy grail, which a lot of people do,
Mhm.
and then just sort of settling into a more excuse me. Yeah, you start out putting all the indicators on your charts, and by the end of it, you have no indicators on your chart.
Yeah.
And now I'm back to having indicators again. So I don't know. I kind of go back and forth with the quantitative side of things.
Uh-huh.
Anyhow, why don't I give you a little tour of the platform? Then we can
Okay.
play some games and kind of just talk about trading a bit and some of the things that we've both learned along the way. Because you've been doing it 4 years, I'm sure you've learned quite a bit. So let me share my screen. Oh, I am sharing my screen. Huh. Let me share the other screen. Okay. See, plenty of indicators.
Yep.
All right. So I saw that you're on the site. You have the dashboard here. The dashboard features your equity curve and some basic stats.
Mhm.
All right. So I've traded 2 charts. I probably had a couple trades on each. Got pretty lucky so far. Haven't lost one. And there are free features and then there are premium features. So everything I'm showing you right now is free.
Okay.
The simulator itself is free. There are some premium features here, such as filtering. So one of the things that I always wanted in a simulator, I've played on other simulators. There were a couple things. One was I wanted TradingView charts because I trade with TradingView, so better to practice on something that you're using.
Right.
50 million people use TradingView, so I figured it was probably a pretty good charting software to use. The other thing that I always wanted was, you ever gotten stuck in a position, you bought something and all of a sudden it gapped down,
Yeah.
and you're just like, oh Christ, how long do I have to wait for this thing to come back?
Right.
So I added in a number of these items. So gap down.
Mhm.
Now, if you select different filters and then you click next chart, it will load with gaps down. Now, this one's a minor one. Some of them will be pretty big. Others will be pretty small. Right? So you might be stuck in something like that. You could play it, for the next 100 charts and see how they resolve over time, how you would have traded it, what you could potentially expect. Similarly, you could trade things like a MACD crossover,
Mm-hmm.
right? So maybe you're trying to develop a new strategy.
Right.
Now, as I mentioned, I like the quantitative side of things, so I got into developing algorithms. And so I created a pullback strategy, and I've got 2 of them.
Okay.
And these are the aggregate results. So the historical results were extremely robust, but that's all backtest data. And now you got to do forward testing. So back in February, I launched it. And if you remember what happened in April, things kind of fell off a cliff and then they came back. So kind of a volatile period, but nonetheless, of these 667 trades, 72% have been profitable. On average, they have a 10-day hold.
Mm-hmm.
You win 3.3% every time you win. You lose 6.3 on average when you lose. And if you're winning 72% of the time, it comes out to be a profitable strategy.
Right.
So these are just, yeah, I'm making this as part of a course that I'm making about trading.
Mm-hmm.
I figure I'd put it up here. You can look through the close signals. You can tell things are getting kind of hairy right now because some of these have had some pretty big losses. That's the thing about this algorithm is it gives you, 1 to 10% returns on the way up. And then as things roll over, it tends to have kind of heavy hits, and then it just goes dormant. It won't. The algorithm, I'll just quickly show you. So as I said, I put filters in. You can also practice on that pullback algorithm.
Mm-hmm.
So every time it loads a new chart, it will be some form of that algorithm. Now, what's showing in the trade signals are the top 400 stocks that performed well, 70 to 90% success rate.
Mm-hmm.
In the simulator, I applied to all stocks. So some of them, many of them it doesn't perform well on. So it forces you to still have to think instead of saying, okay, this is a pullback signal. This looks pretty good. I'll just buy it blindly versus thinking about it a little harder. Maybe you got the pullback here. And when you got it here, it's still in the midst of all of this chaos.
Mm-hmm.
And it's going to start hitting, resistance.
Right.
So maybe not a great time to buy, but here might actually be. Anyway, so that was the logic behind it. With the charts, you can add indicators. You can draw lines. If you're familiar with TradingView, I won't go through all that.
Okay.
Anyhow, so every time it loads a chart, it's loading 600 bars for you to evaluate the volume and the price pattern.
Yeah.
And then to place a trade, let's say you want to go long here. I'm going to give it one more day. And we'll buy here. So you can either enter in the shares, or you can select one of these pre-populated, half of your cash, all of your cash, or up to 5 times leverage.
Okay.
So we're going to go all in. We'll see what happens. Heavy volume here. There it goes. All right. Well, we sell here. I think I'm just going to drop it here.
So you mean when you place an order, then the chart is going to be moving.
So
Right.
the first time when you click place order,
Uh-huh.
it will go to the next day immediately.
Oh, okay.
And then to see the following days, you need to click next day.
Oh, okay.
So if we're playing a game and there's 90 seconds to play, you're going to be clicking next day very fast sometimes. Yeah.
Right.
So that's why it's, part of the reason I wanted to do this was I think the missing ingredient for a lot of people is to play under pressure, to practice under pressure.
Right.
So I can tell you last night when I was talking with people, we sat there trading chart after chart, and I'm the one who's trading, and people are looking to me to make decisions, and suddenly I'm feeling nervous because I've never traded in front of people before.
Mhm.
And I look at the people who are influencers, I'm kind of I marvel at them because that's a lot of extra pressure when
Mhm.
trading already is a high pressure sport.
Right.
Okay, so that's basically how it works. You have market limit and stop orders. And you can go long or short, and you can flip your positions pretty easily. Let's go on to the next.
And then if let's say if the charge it doesn't have your set up, can you go to the next chart
Yep.
or do it? Okay.
If you're playing in a game,
Right.
a two-player, you cannot.
Oh, okay.
The point of the two-player is you're both playing the same exact chart. So whatever you get served, you both have to deal with.
Oh, okay.
Now, something else you can do here is take notes. So let's say, I'm going to make my my rules. And rule number 1 is no choppy charts, right?
Mhm.
No long wicks, no chaos. Maybe I'm also looking at charts where it opens. I've found that charts that have a history of where it gaps up and sells off,
Mhm.
like a bar like this.
Right.
If you see a lot of those, it just feels like it's being manipulated too much.
Mhm.
2, maybe, right, high volume, consistently high. Right.
Let's say if if you see that the red one, the first bar, and then the second bar right here, the first bar that is being sold off,
This here?
yeah, and then the second one, right? Let's
So
say
you want,
if you yeah.
you want me to go to the next?
Yep. I mean, if you pay with two people, you have to buy it, or you can you wait until you see the follow through?
Yeah, so let's say it just loaded, and if you and I jump into a game and it loaded this chart, we both see the same chart.
Right.
I trade it how I like, you trade it how you like. You might say, okay, I'm going to go long here. And maybe I missed that. And maybe I decide to go short here, thinking it might pull back.
Right.
And this looks like a nice breakout,
Right.
potentially.
Okay.
Now, do you have much of a background in the fundamental side of things and economics and understanding the financials and businesses?
Some, yes.
Okay, good.
Yeah. Not like the professional doing it, but some.
Sure.
Like valuations and all that kind of stuff.
I'm sorry? Valuations?
Yeah, valuations, those kind of stuff.
That you do or do not have background in, studied?
Now I take some classes. I just finished it, so I take class valuation, stock valuation.
Oh, good.
And then take some of the class for a dividend stock.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to understand what people are interested in. So as I either create my own sessions or bring people in to talk about this stuff, right? Because I took over these groups because I created the simulator and wanted to host these tournaments. I thought it'd be fun because
Mhm.
the next stage for this for me is it will be a gaming site.
Right.
So you can play for free, or you could join games where you pay $1, $2, $10. So imagine a tournament with a ladder tournament with 100 people paying $10 each.
Mhm.
Now you have a pot of $1,000, and winner takes home, 800, 900, something like that.
Right. Interesting.
Okay, let's trade a couple charts then.
Yeah. Can I ask you that why you use 33 EMA?
Good question. I asked people last night, why do you think I do? There's a mathematical reason behind it. So one thing, all right, here's what I'll do. We'll take away the 200 and notice how often it will come right down to the 33. It'll either, the wick will come to it
Mhm.
or it'll just sit right on it.
Mhm.
See, like right here,
Right.
right there, here, right there.
Mhm.
We'll go to the next chart. We'll get another. Excuse me. So I had, look at that. It's like right there.
Mhm.
Again, sitting right on it. Right. No one thinks about the 33 and they never heard of it. Never heard of using it.
Right. So that's why I was curious why you use 33.
Yep. So right here, these right there. And it's beautiful.
Mhm.
So the reason is a lot of short-term traders use a 65-minute chart.
Mhm.
Why do they use a 65-minute chart? Any idea?
65-minute charge.
65. Right. If you're a short-term trader, you still want to have a broader view, right?
Yeah.
Did someone just try to enter? Yeah. Hello.
Yeah. Probably they have a problem like me.
Yeah. In the lower left, you'll find your microphone. Just make sure you've selected one of them. So you might need to click the pop-up. All right. So back to why the 33. A lot of professional traders will use the 65 period because if you use a 1 hour, right, there are 6.5 hours in a day. So that means if you use a 1 hour, 6 of the bars on the chart are going to be 1 hour.
Right.
And one of those bars is going to be 30 minutes.
Mhm.
So divide it into 65 minutes and you'll have 6 bars. Now, a lot of traders also use a 200 moving average. It's kind of like the line in the sand for them.
Right.
So if you're using if your broader view is a 65-minute, if you're trading a 2-minute or a 5-minute chart, but when you zoom out, you're looking at a 65-minute chart, and you're looking at the 200 as being your line in the sand. So what I did is I said, all right, what is the 200 period moving average on a 65-minute chart? What does that translate into on a daily chart? That's a 33. And that's why when it comes to the 33, it either gets rejected, it stops, or it explodes through.
Mhm.
Good question.
Thank you.
I'm impressed that you noticed that.
A lot of people using like 10, 20, and then for the short-term 5-minute charge, they're using VWAP.
Right.
Those stuff. So that's why I was curious why you use 33. I never seen anybody use 33.
Yeah, me neither. I've done a lot of back testing on it. It works pretty well.
Oh,
You'll
really?
notice I also use, so for my MACD, I'm
Mhm.
not using 1226, I'm using 1033 because a lot of people look at the 10
Right.
and what is the MACD? It's the difference between the two moving averages.
Mm.
And so if people are using the 33 without really knowing it, right, because they're
Yeah.
using the 200
Right.
on a 65-minute chart, and a lot of people use the 10 on a daily chart. So I
Right.
figure bring those together and it starts to really make things come together for me, at least as how I look at it.
Okay.
And then the other thing is most people, I believe, they talk about crossovers on the MACD.
Mhm.
The distance the MACD level is from the zero line matters. If
Mhm.
you get a crossover that's very high up, it's probably not going to give you as much explosiveness.
Mm.
The reason is I have a buddy who trades options, and he turned 10,000 into, I think it was 2.8 million
Oh, wow.
in 18 months. And he was using one strategy.
Mm.
And let me see if I can find a chart that will show it. Let's get a good chart here. Maybe this one. I'm going to turn this into a 10. And what he was looking for was what we were just calling the surf. He'd look for the moving average to come very close.
Right.
And the closer it comes, the closer it gets down here to zero.
Mm.
Right? When the moving averages fall below, the MACD is going to go negative.
Right.
So kind of an homage to him and his success, lining up the MACD and looking for when it happens, is it breaking through?
Mm-hmm.
Because if the 10 is falling below the 200, to me that's a weight.
Yeah.
I need to see it come back above, pull in, and look at that nice explosion.
Right.
Which indicators do you tend to focus on?
I use 10, 20, and 50. So anything that below 50, anything is going down below 50, I sold it off.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, I sold it off, and then I hold cash. So yeah, that's my strategy. So,
Gotcha.
but 200, I also use 200 for my retirement though. For the long term.
Right.
So are you using the day are you using the day chart, or is this the day chart or the weekly chart?
These are daily.
Oh, this is daily chart. Okay.
Yeah.
What makes you make this simulator?
Well, like I said before, there were other simulators that were missing things that I really wanted. And primarily that was the filtering, but also playing against other people.
Okay.
I think traders are competitive naturally.
Right.
And I wanted to create a course that is paired with the simulator. So after every lesson, there's an assignment where you'll come here to practice what you've learned.
Okay.
Right. So it's learn, practice what you learn, and then practice under pressure by either playing against other people or cash gaming, which is also playing against other people. But when $1 or $5 is on the line, suddenly it's a little more meaningful. Take it a little more seriously.
Yeah.
So what would you do here? Would you trade this?
You mean trading view?
No. Would you trade this chart?
Yeah.
What would you do at this point? Would you go long
Yes.
or short?
I'm going
Long?
long. Yeah.
All right. Let's see what happens. Right. So right now you're below that 200 on the short term.
Oh,
You're
no,
below the
that was
33.
33. Yeah. Mhm.
Right. So you're below the 33. Your money flow is negative. You're coming down real close, right? So you're getting that surf. So let's see if it turns around here. There you go. I might go in a little, but you're hitting resistance right there. It popped through.
Mhm.
And some volumes coming in. But so money flow is basically the price times the volume.
Mhm.
And it's an oscillator similar to RSI.
Right.
And typically if it's below 50, it means that money overall has been draining out of the stock. So I'm going to sell here and we'll see if it pops through. Nope.
Yeah.
Right. So it's coming up to an area where people have already sold off in the past.
Mhm.
You had a bar that didn't have a lot of volume behind it.
Mhm.
That's sort of two ways to think about it. If it had a lot of volume and it didn't move, then I'd be even more concerned.
Right.
That would mean that definitely people are holding it back.
Yeah.
Now you got this came down with volume, so it's testing, pushing lower. It comes back up with some volume.
Mhm.
It came back down. I would prefer to see it come back down again with a lot of volume, but not make it.
Mhm.
Right. And that would solidify if it does come back up, it's off. It's taking off. Still don't have a lot. Right now, you got a bar
volume.
where
Right.
it shows a fair amount of volume, but again, didn't push past this point. So let's see. Still more resistance.
Right. That's going down.
Looks like it might kick through.
It's a big out.
It's not,
No.
it didn't have a lot of, all right, this looks like maybe. I will go with a small position here.
I say it's already up.
Let's see, that's not very nice. Let's wait. Poof.
Whoa, gap down.
Last night I was holding all of this stuff. People are like, really? You trade? I was nervous. I've not really been on calls like this before, so new thing. So here you got upward consolidation, kind of like a a triangle, ascending wedge. Broke out, hitting resistance. Not a lot of shares traded here, but a lot as far as cumulative, but not a lot of volume. I would imagine a lot of these people here were getting out.
Yeah.
So let's see what happens here. Tried second time, didn't make it. Is it going to consolidate or just fall apart? Looks like it's going to consolidate. Whippy. Yeah, I mean, it's between the moving averages. The money flows come down.
Yeah.
Let's see if it hangs in there. It kind of like a double bottom.
Mhm. going down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now do we have let me just check. Okay. Oh, Sunny left.
Yeah.
Now I hear an accent. Where are you from originally?
I'm from Thailand.
Oh, okay.
Have you
How
been
long you
there
been?
before?
No, never.
Oh, you should go.
I've seen pictures. It looks beautiful.
Yeah, it is beautiful beach there.
Yeah. You miss it?
Yeah, I came back. I always come back home every three years. Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Mhm.
And you have a lot of family back there still?
Yeah, I have siblings, but my parents passed away already.
Oh.
So yeah.
Sorry to hear that.
Where you from, Chris?
I'm in Boston. This is where I'm from originally as well. But I've lived
Oh,
a couple different places.
okay. So are you like now you really trading or you have another job or?
So when I left investments, it
Mhm.
was around the financial crisis,
Yeah.
and I kind of had to reinvent myself. So I taught myself coding,
Mhm.
had a couple startups, and then eventually worked my way back into corporate America in sales. So selling software, and got laid off about a year and a half ago now.
Oh.
And it was okay.
Mhm.
I was actually happy because I had wanted to start this.
Oh, okay.
So I was already actually interviewing developers, and the minute they let me go, I was able to say, okay, here we go. Yeah, so it took me a year and a half to get this thing developed.
Mhm.
Um,
Oh wow.
but I'm happy with how it came out. I like it. We'll see what ends up happening.
Mhm.
So I have I'm thinking about teaching some stuff through these groups.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll give you a trial run. Are you familiar with any Chinese medicine?
Yeah.
Okay. Have you ever heard of the 5 elements theory?
You said 5 elements
Yes.
theory?
Yep.
Not sure.
Okay.
Like what?
I'll tell you in a minute.
Okay.
Are you familiar with the leading economic indicators? Have you heard of them?
Yes.
Okay. So what I'm going to do is I think I'm going to put together a session for the different groups on understanding a framework. It's a framework for how to understand the leading economic indicators. It's really a framework for understanding the economy.
Mm-hmm.
So when I was an analyst, I was going through my own healthcare crisis.
Mm-hmm.
And the irony for me was I was a healthcare analyst.
Mm-hmm.
And so Western doctors, they really don't know what they're doing, especially when it's something that is not acute care, which is acute meaning like it's a broken arm. It needs immediate. It's obvious what it is, and it's a simple fix. And so I ended up in Chinatown for 5 years. I was working with different acupuncturists and herbalists, and I ended up studying a lot about Chinese medicine. So by day, I'm researching Western medicine, and at night, I'm researching Chinese medicine. And the things I was studying in Chinatown were actually helping me significantly in my studying of Western medicine to make investment decisions.
Mm.
And one of the theories in Chinese medicine is sort of the theory of everything. And it's called the 5 elements theory.
Mm-hmm.
Now let me come back to thing here, and what I'm going to do is share a whiteboard. How do we do this?
Are you talking about Chinese medicine, like all those kind of stuff?
Yep.
Yeah, that's what my great grandfather did.
Oh, nice.
He's a doctor for that.
Okay. Oh,
yeah,
wait.
he went to the mountain and then get some of the herb,
Yep.
you know, from the leaf and all those stuff. And then he's kind of, you know, making his own medicines, help people that way. Yeah.
So let's see. Yep, here we go.
Yeah.
I was showing this to my developer. Sometimes I don't know whether he thinks I'm crazy or what. But let me see if I can just clear all of this. It's not really clearing it, is it? Oh, it did. Give me 1 minute. I need to get some water. My voice is about to go.
Yeah, take your time. Go for it.
Thanks. Okay, I'm back. So the Chinese have this theory that everything in the world can fit into these 5 elements. It includes everything from the body to herbs to food to feng shui, martial arts. Everything is described by these 5 elements. And so I thought, why don't I see if I can apply it to the economy? I spent years trying to do this. It is such a simple framework. I guarantee you've never seen it anywhere. In fact, I don't think I've ever seen anyone in the mainstream media, in any investment groups, anywhere throughout my work history. I've never seen anyone describe it like this. But when I show you, it's going to make so much sense. I hope. You tell me. Maybe you say, it's not really that interesting. Okay, so there are 5 elements. The first one we'll start with is water. And let's do that. And water, everything. So these are, it's the virtuous cycle and the vicious cycle. The virtuous cycle is growth and the vicious cycle is destruction. So water feeds, in order for it to grow, it has to feed something. So water feeds wood. And wood feeds fire. And by the end, I'll have tied it all together, I hope. But for now, just bear with me. Let me hide that in one more room. And fire burns the wood and turns it into ash. And ash builds up earth.
Is that the red earth? No, I'm just kidding.
What's that?
Is that the red earth?
Wet earth?
Red earth. I'm just kidding. Now what they're talking about, red earth.
Which earth?
Red earth.
Red.
Red.
What do you mean? I don't understand what you're saying.
Red earth.
R-E-D?
R-A-R-E.
Rare earth. Like
Rare earth.
Well, funny
That
you
was
should
Trump.
make that joke because the next one
That was
is
President Trump looking for it.
metal, right? So Earth sits around for 1 million years and it forms metals.
Yeah.
Okay. And then, right, this didn't work out so well. My drawing is not so good this time. This brings us back to, how come I can't get that? Maybe that's what I was missing. There. Okay, so we started with water. Water feeds wood. Think of water, the rain feeding a tree. The tree grows. Forest fire comes in, burns the wood, turns it back to earth, sits around 1 million years, turns into metal. And then metal, there are different ways people theorize or think of it. One is metal melts and it becomes a liquid. The other one is metal, think of mineral water, right? Strengthens the water. So this is a cycle. And what the Chinese did is they attach different things in life to these elements. So let's take the human body, for example. Each organ is associated with one of these elements. So when you think of water, which organ in the body is filtering water?
Filtering water.
I'll give you a hint.
Kidney.
Kidneys, right. Okay. And which organ in the body has the ability to grow? Because that's what wood does, it grows.
Liver.
Liver. And when you think of fire, which organ do you think of?
Stomach. Heart.
Okay. And for Earth, Earth is actually going to be stomach.
Oh.
You'll understand when I get into the economic side of things. And then metal is, so what's interesting is in Ayurvedic medicine, this is actually air, not metal. And if it were air, what do you think? What would you think of?
Air.
Which organ?
Breath.
Your breath, right? So lungs.
Right.
Okay. So we've associated every organ with an element. Now the Chinese also associate flavors with these elements. And this will tie it all together, trust me. So what's the flavor of water? If you had to put a flavor with water, the world is covered in water. What kind of water is it covered in? Can you drink the water it's covered in for the most part?
Yeah.
So if you go to the ocean and you take a cup of water out of the ocean, you can drink that?
Oh no, we need filter.
Why can't you drink it?
Because it's too salty.
So that becomes the flavor of the element for water. For liver, it is, if I can remember correctly,
Digest.
sour.
Oh, sour.
And for the heart,
Sour.
I believe it is bitter. Stomach, it is sweet. And for the lungs, it is pungent. Okay. Now, if you consume too much salt, what happens in your body?
You have problem with your heart.
There you go. So, these things, these elements feed each other, but they also control each other. So, water extinguishes fire. Wood, think of the roots of a tree growing into the ground. They control earth.
Mm-hmm.
Fire melts metal. Metal, think of an axe chopping wood. Right? So these are not just a system flowing to create a positive, but there are controls in place as well. And if any of these break down, then it goes in reverse. And then it becomes destructive, right? So this is growth when it goes this way. Life is working well. When this happens, life stagnates. And when it goes in reverse, that's death.
Mm.
Okay. So you understand the framework, which is really just, it's a cycle. You have a cycle going in the positive direction to create life. If it goes in the reverse, it's creating death. And then there's this controlling factor. And at this point, you might be saying, okay, I understand that water feeds wood, wood feeds fire, earth, metal, etc. How does this relate to economics? Right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, when you think of economics and you think of water, water is a liquid, right?
Yeah.
When you think of the word liquid or liquidity, what do you think of? What is it in economic terms?
The fund for the cash.
Exactly. So credit,
Okay.
you have money supply.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, let's make these smaller. Can I move this? Yes. Okay. So we talked about what we've been talking about is a cycle of growth. What does a liquidity feed? What would wood be in this situation? We talked, what is the nature of wood? I've mentioned it a couple times. Which organ does what? What does the organ do? What do trees do? They grow.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay, so we're talking about growth. And in economic terms, that would be new projects. That would be startups, right? New ventures, things like that.
Mm-hmm.
Company opens a new plant, right? Trump's done his tariffs in order to get companies to bring their factories home.
Mm-hmm.
But in order to do that, they need money. So that's liquidity feeds the growth.
Right.
When a company is going to launch a new product or a new project they're going to build, they need to hire. Oops. Employment. Okay, so now people have jobs. And so let's go back to the elements here. Fire, right? So fire is taking the wood, it's converting it. People come in and they convert that cash into finished product, into factories, into something. And people are working. Now they have money, they're spending money, they're saving money. They have income. And this is not just corporate, or it's not just personal income, it's corporate income too. Now, when people have money and companies are earning profits, people feel pretty good, right?
Mm-hmm.
Confidence. So now to tie it all together, and this confidence is confidence in consumer confidence, it's business confidence, and investor confidence, bank confidence, right? So everything in this cycle starts with confidence. This is the most important thing in the entire economy. If the consumer isn't confident, they don't spend money. If the consumer isn't spending money, businesses aren't confident to make the investment. If the investments aren't being made and growth isn't happening, banks don't feel confident that companies will pay them back. So then liquidity dries up.
Mm-hmm.
No liquidity, no money for projects. No money for projects, no employment. No employment, no income. Confidence keeps going down. And the cycle, once it turns negative, it accelerates down.
Yeah.
So then what does the government do? They step in, they lower interest rates, they helicopter money out to people in order to boost confidence, in order to put liquidity back into the system, in order to stimulate spending, right? Because employment isn't doing it. So the growth is coming from people spending. Then companies hopefully feel confident enough to hire and then kickstart this cycle again. So when you see, one of the things I found frustrating as an analyst is 24/7, you have news coming at you all the time. And if you don't have a good framework for understanding where each news story fits into a simple framework, it's very easy to just get overwhelmed with it.
Mm-hmm.
So the leading economic indicators. So we have building permits, manufacturing, new orders. Here's the consumer. Can you see my screen still?
Yes.
I did a search here. Right. So we could put these in. We could say, so growth was, so it's not just, but real estate makes up a large portion of the economy.
Mm-hmm.
So this was building permits. We'll put it there. Purchasing managers index. So, yeah, it's a survey, but it shows, what the likelihood of them making large purchases over the coming quarter. Average weekly hours in manufacturing. So here we had, can I copy this? Let's see. Yes, I can. Good. Basically, all of the different items here map to these 5 elements. And so if you want to understand why the leading economic indicators are so powerful, this is it. This is how they work together.
Yeah.
So this system here, in addition to the economy, I was able to map it out to individual businesses and to trading. So there is a flow to trading like this. And if you think of trading, what is liquidity? Where in a chart is liquidity?
Cash buying power.
Just in a price pattern.
Oh, price pattern.
When looking at a price pattern, where is the most liquidity happening? It's usually happening as it gets to the top of a run or at the bottom, right? So all of this in here, it's not moving. This is just shares changing hand, money changing hands. Typically, as it's making a run up,
Right.
it's I wouldn't call that liquidity. The reason it's moving as fast as it is because there isn't a lot of liquidity and the share price just keeps getting pushed up. If there was a lot of liquidity in the stock, it may not move as fast. So liquidity would be an area of consolidation.
Oh, okay.
And after the area of consolidation, what is growth? Like most people look for a breakout. And then after a breakout, it's got some work to do. Not exactly employment, but it's a pullback.
Right.
And if it continues up, it needs one quality in particular: volume. And then the trading equivalent to confidence is momentum. And then momentum eventually leads to consolidation again.
Yeah.
And this pattern or this cycle happens over and over and over again. Right? So you got momentum here, you got consolidation. And it breaks out, didn't break up, it broke down. Right? So it's kind of coming back, it retests and then continues. You get some consolidation, breaks out, but fails.
Back. Yeah.
Not a good chart. Anyhow, I don't know if that is helpful or you're kind of like, whatever, that's not that interesting.
No, that makes sense though.
It's a simple framework. I don't know whether going through all this is necessary, but what do you think?
I like it.
As
I
far
think
as
it's
how to,
really, yeah, I think it's that's the Leo that we, yeah,
it's
that
a
we
what?
thinking. It's a real,
Real.
yes.
Is it necessary to go through all of this, or do you think I'll lose people if I go through everything here on the left?
Well, on the left, it kind of like more difficult to understand. Like, kind of like, you're gonna have to what do you call it, like it it's hard to understand in the left,
Mm-hmm.
but it's understandable. You know what I mean? Like how I don't know how to put it this way. So when once you already put the chart like that, it more understandable. But if you go through the way that you just explaining, it kind of like you're gonna have to think more about that. But the charge in the right hand side, when you put the liquidity compared to the left, then that kind of make more sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The question I have is, yes, this is more complicated,
Yeah.
but
More,
do
yeah.
I have to go through it in order for people to then say, okay, I understand? Maybe what I need to do is I'll just introduce this without getting into the details. If I say, look, I won't bore you with all the details, but this is how they see the world, that it forms a cycle, whether it's water, wood, fire, whatever, everything fits into these elements in some fashion to create a cycle of either growth or destruction.
Right.
And I could take you through how it is in health.
Right.
Right. So like doctors, was it your uncle you said, or your father who was a Chinese doctor, right?
Yeah. My great grandfather.
Great grandfather. Okay. So food is medicine, right? So it would heal people with herbs that have these flavors.
Right.
Anyhow, but I understand your point. I think I agree. It's easy for people to get lost here. It's easy for me to get lost just bringing people through it.
Right.
So I'll keep that simpler.
Yeah, I'm kind of like understand, because my great grandfather did that, and then I grew up for the thing like that too. So, but if you're talking to people who that it hasn't been that
Right.
old, it kind of like more complicated for them, I think.
Right.
Yeah.
Anyhow, how do I clear this? No, I'll just stop. Well, I think that's going to be it for tonight.
Okay.
Thank you very much for coming out.
Well, thank you for showing me that. I learned a lot. I mean, even though it's not too much, but I learned a lot. So
let me finish with one thing, just so I can sort of bring this home.
right.
Are
you gonna have another one too, or no?
Another what?
Another meetup.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna do these periodically. Yeah.
Okay.
I'm just gonna open up TradingView. Let me see here. So one thing I do is I'll go through and look at right, these are what we just talked about: credit, growth, employment, profits, confidence. And this is something I'm planning on doing, is just periodically going through and looking at what each of these numbers, what the different, I need to adjust these charts. It looks, I haven't opened these in a while, but go through the framework and then put the numbers to it. What do the charts actually look like? Is growth really accelerating? is employment, what's employment doing? I think these are holdovers from another chart. So I'll probably have to get rid of all those. I don't know what these are. Anyhow. Yeah. All right. I think that became more confusing. Okay. All right, Pauline.
All right.
So where are you located?
I'm in the Northern Virginia.
Okay. Great. Now, had you attended any of these meetings before with the old group?
No, this is my first time because when I look at the meetup, I put like IBD and then you come up.
This used to be an IBD group.
It used to be. Okay.
Yeah. So IBD got acquired by Dow Jones and then they stopped sponsoring these groups.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah. And then none of the co-organizers stepped up to take them over.
Mm-hmm.
And when I saw them, they didn't even show the co-organizers. So I took them over thinking, hey, they might be, it might be a good option for running some tournaments, just getting people interested in trading.
Yeah.
And we'll see. I'll probably run these for, I'll give it 10 times, see what kind of turnout, what people are interested in. Because I think a lot of people will be more interested in the fundamentals than the technicals.
I think both, but they want to. For me, for my opinion, I think people like to do the technical first.
Oh,
and then
okay.
And then if you can teach those, I think they will be interesting and go along with your tournament.
Right.
Yeah, because if they don't understand how they play with that, you know what I mean?
Right.
So yeah, I'm sure that a lot of people are really interested in how to trade, but they don't have they don't have the background to do that. So if you can teach that, that would be great.
Okay.
Yeah. And I'm sure that there will be a lot of people interesting. And then start with that, and then we can go to the tournament and play those games together, and that will be fun.
Right. Okay, great.
Yeah.
Well, it's great meeting you. I look forward to doing this again.
All right. Thank you so much, Chris.
All right, Pauline. Have a good night.
You too. Bye.
Bye.